The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus is stunning. I love what Lincoln's done with the refresh. The interior is completely different. The exterior has some incredible new highlights. There's a new powertrain and a lot of things you need to know. But if you're looking for more walkthroughs, like how to use the steering wheel, the new 48-inch screen, or the infotainment system, you can find those down in the description of this video, along with the build link for this Nautilus and the contact details for Yorkdale Lincoln, who were nice enough to lend this thing to me for the afternoon. The drivetrain for the 2024 Nautilus is unchanged from the 2023 model. So it doesn't matter if you're in Canada, the States, this thing is strictly going to be available with Lincoln's intelligent all-wheel drive. There's no front-wheel drive version available. This one has the Jet Appearance package, which has this 22-inch wheel, and the style of it, I am absolutely in love with. The front end styling of the Nautilus is completely different from the 2023 model. You still will find the LED headlamps, but there's a beautiful LED light bar that goes all the way throughout. Lincoln logo in the middle there is also something that can be lit up later on at night, which looks great. On top of that, the new grille, I think looks really cool. It's like these little kind of like bubble cutouts there, but a nice honeycomb design overall. Way taller profile in comparison to last year's model. There's a lot of technology you're going to find standard in most trim levels of the 2024 Nautilus. You've got the forward sensing system that's there, the front-facing camera, the side-mounted cameras, the backup camera for a full 360 view. So there is a lot of similar tech from the 23 to the 24, with one other thing is that the 2024 Nautilus now also features Lincoln's BlueCruise system. And that's complete hands-free driving, which I tried it out earlier, is an incredible system. But if you want to walk through on the adaptive cruise of the BlueCruise system, you'll find that down in the description of this video. Underneath the hood of the 2024 Nautilus, there are two engine choices that are available. Slightly different than what you were going to find in the 2023 model. So you've got the 2-liter turbocharged engine, and then there's also a 2-liter. Now it's also paired with a 100 kilowatt hour battery. It's pretty crazy. So that other engine is going to be a traditional hybrid. So it's not a plug-in hybrid, but it does give you a good bump in fuel economy, which I'll touch on in a second. And power-wise, it's not much different from the 23 to the 2024. The 2-liter, the regular 2-liter turbo, pushes out 250 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty damn good. And then the 2-liter hybrid is going to push out 310 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque combined. And that's with the 2-liter engine, and then that 100 kilowatt hour battery on top of that. So power performance-wise, they are pretty much neck and neck with one another. The big question is whether or not you're going to want to look at some fuel savings. But before I get there, the warranty inside of Lincoln vehicles is pretty solid. Your basic warranty is going to be a 4-year 50,000 mile or 80,000 kilometers, with the powertrain getting bumped up to 6-year 70,000 mile and 110,000 kilometers instead. So warranty-wise, you're covered, and you can always look at purchasing prepaid maintenance plans right at time of ordering. You can also extend that program if you'd like to, looking at your basic or your powertrain warranty when you purchase your ride. Filling up fuel inside of the Nautilus is straightforward, and it's along the driver's side. Unlocked cover with a capless system. Minimum manufacturer's recommendation in this thing is also just regular 87 fuel, so just regular gas is all you need to use. But the horsepower and torque specs we were looking at under the hood are all achieved using a 94 octane. Do you need to use a 94? No, not at all. You can get away with just using a regular 87. That's the minimum manufacturer's recommendation. But if you want the best possible performance, you want to use a 91 if it's in the budget. If not, go for the just regular fuel instead. But the question of whether you decide to go for the hybrid or the regular gas engine is going to come down to a matter of personal preference. And here's why. So let's look at the numbers for a second. To go to the hybrid, you're about 4,000 Canadian roughly to go to that hybrid instead. You're also going to get about 10% more power in comparison. Looking at fuel economy, the hybrid is also going to use about 20 to 25-ish% less fuel. So you get 10% more power, use 20 to 25% less fuel for $4,000. So the question of whether or not it's worth it, it might be worth it for you if you're going to hold on to this thing for 4, 5, 6 years or longer to go to that hybrid. But that one's going to be a matter of preference. The hybrid is technically newer technology, so it's going to be your call whether you go that route, but for the potential fuel savings, it could be worth it for the right person. I love the new rear end of the Nautilus. The lamps look great. There's a bar stretched right across the side there for your brake lights. It's got the rear wiper, reverse camera, and then the rear sensing system as well. So again, overall, That back end, just put together nicely. Now this one doesn't have the available tow package, and I guess it's technically not a tow package, it's just a Class 1 receiver that you can install aftermarket. And that's a dealer installed option, or you could do it yourself if you wanted to. But the Class 1 receiver is about half of what the 2023 Nautilus can tow. So this thing is going to max out at 1,750 pounds for towing. And that doesn't matter if you're in the 2-liter turbo or the 2-liter hybrid, they're maxing out at the exact same. So that's one thing to take into consideration. If you need your Lincoln to tow a little bit more, you can bump yourself up to the Aviator. In that case, you're looking at around 5,000 plus pounds inside of the Aviator instead. And then looking at the liftgate inside of this thing, you've got a few different options available. So you can use the key fob to open it. There's a button just to the left-hand side of the steering wheel. Underneath the second L in Lincoln, there's still a button there. And then you could also swipe your foot for foot activated power instead. It's nice. You've got a nice new Nautilus scuff plate, I should say. Along the left-hand side, there's a 12-volt power point, and then releases for your second row seats. So it looks like that's the same for the 23 to the 24, is that with those buttons, you can lower the seat, and then you just have to manually lift it back up yourself. Along the right-hand side, you've only got a little light. And then this is just the regular carpeted liner you're gonna find in the back. And it does have a mini spare tire underneath. So it's an 18-inch spare, so it is a mini. And then the jack stand is located just along the right side with a nice amount of storage space off to the left. Now, if you wanted to, let's say you pop a tire, puncture a tire, whatever the case may be, you could change it out yourself if you want to. But one of the nice things about being a Lincoln owner is that you also have access to Lincoln Roadside Assistance. And that's good for the same length as the powertrain warranty. So a 6-year, 70,000 mile, 110,000 kilometers. Call an 800 number, they can help you change a tire. If you also needed fuel, that could happen, winching services, and a number of other things. That's just one of the added benefits of being a Lincoln owner. And then if you need to fold down the second row seats, but you don't actually need to get into the trunk, it's just done along the second row seat here. So you're gonna pop inside, and then there's a little lever release along the side. You're gonna pull that, and down goes the bench. And it's a 60-40 bench, so 60 on the driver, 40 on the passenger. And then the cargo measurements that we're looking at are going right from where the liftgate would close to just in behind the armrest between the first row seats. So if the driver's seat or passenger seat are forwards, backwards a little bit more, you'd gain a few extra inches or you'd lose a few extra, just depending on how tall the drivers and passengers are. The Nautilus hasn't really changed much size-wise from the 2023 to the 2024 model. Slight difference in the length and a little bit in the height, but otherwise it's pretty much the exact same profile. Man, I love the new highlight there. Just very Aviator-esque with that basic style, but a new font used for the badge itself. The side view mirrors here do feature turn signals, the blind spot monitoring system, they're heated, and they're power folding. You still do have the 5-digit number pad on the outside there, so you can lock using the bottom two, unlock, and then the new fancy handle. Oh, but look at that. Interior is beautiful. Touch on that in a second. But you've got this nice highlight that follows through, marries what's going on part of this new 48-inch screen. But along the door, you've got this nice metallic highlight, your basic unlock lock buttons, memory buttons, so you could set up your side view mirror, your steering wheel, and the seat the way that you'd like, and then you're going to push and hold either 1, 2, or 3 for it to remember your own personal profile. There are a few different speaker systems that are available, and this is the 203A, so it's the Revel Ultima, so it's the 28 speaker audio system that I'll let you listen to in a minute. Love it though. Style is great. You've got your power folding side view mirror buttons, your basic window controls, side view mirror controls, your door handle there, a little bit of storage. You've got the Lincoln scuff plate along the side. And then as always, you've got your window, your trunk release. Figure out what's going on with the brightness of the cluster screen. I guess that 48-inch screen, I don't know if I'd call that a traditional cluster. And then you can figure out what's going on with your running lamps. This thing has an electronic parking brake. There's the hood release there as well, so you're just pulling twice in order to open up. But that seat is beautiful. And it's the 24-way perfect position seat. You've got a few different buttons that are available here, so you can move the seat forwards, backwards, up or down. You can adjust the backrest. There's 4-way lumbar support. And then this also doubles as a button to control massage chair seats and a few more options too. But I'll touch on that one once we get inside. You can also adjust each individual leg cushion if you wanted to. The steering wheel inside of this thing is going to be power telescoping. And as I mentioned, with memory, which is nice. You can see there, teeny little storage tray underneath as well. But, ooh, gotta do this. Oh yeah, that's nice. All right, let's do a little quick startup. Start up there, and then you might also be able to see down by my feet there. So there's also some ambient light that you can select through the infotainment system. But that is beautiful. I love it. Hold on, I'll touch on this in a second. I just want to give you first impressions on comfort. So I've got the driver's seat set up for myself being 6 feet tall so that I would traditionally drive. But with the seat as far down as it's going to go, up overhead, I've got like 4.5+ inches of headspace. So there's a ton of space available here. And the seat is super comfortable. Super comfortable. I love it. And honestly, like having the massage chair seat capability is great. So I mentioned there, so there's a button along the side that you can push, this one there, and that's going to pull up massage chair seat capability. So you can toggle the massage chair seats on or off, and then you can use the up-down buttons there to move through different modes, and then left and right to adjust the intensity of the mode there as well. Then you can toggle the seat off, and then you can adjust individual parts of the seat too by moving up and down. So you can see there are so many different things that you can select in order to make it hug you tighter, looser, whatever the case may be, to really make the seat your own. It is actually pretty wild, the amount of options that you've got inside of this thing. But this is the 24-way perfect position seat. So if you were just in the base seat, you're not going to have quite as many, like nowhere near as many options, but the seat still is fairly comfortable at the same time. This package is the 203A package, so it's the highest available trim level for the Reserve. That's why we've got the massage chair seats and then the upgraded Revel audio system, which I'll let you listen to in just a bit. But initial impressions of the comfort of the seat, it's definitely there. This feels really, really nice. And hold on, the headrest, oh yeah, 4-way adjustable headrest as well. So up, down, forwards, backwards too, to create that perfect position for you. But I mean, you saw that start up earlier. So nice. You've got the steering wheel buttons there along the side. And then these ones are neat because it's a steering wheel button, but the way that it works is so unique because you can drag your finger in order to be able to go to different screens. So things like adaptive cruise control, your lane keeping system, things like that. But it's a physical button push. So you can kind of trace your finger to see where you're going. And then you use this one in order to be able to increase, decrease volume, play pause, skip songs, whatever the case may be, or use a voice command prompt. So you'll be able to do things like change songs, radio stations, navigate using your voice. Turn on the heated steering wheel.
All right, turning on the steering wheel heater.
So you can do so many different things using your voice. But if you want to walk through on the steering wheel, the 48-inch screen, or the infotainment system, you'll find those walkthroughs down in the description of this video. But this is really nice. So obviously one big thing to point out, the steering wheel is more of like a flat bottom top and bottom. Instead, it is really neat. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but I mean, it is solid. So you push button start there, and then this screen. So this is not Lincoln's Sync 4 system. This is something completely different. This is the next generation using Google's Android Auto operating system. So it's essentially like you're running Android Auto directly on the screen, but it's also got support for Apple Maps, or sorry, for Apple CarPlay. Well, Apple Maps technically, but Apple CarPlay, which is incredible. But I did put a walkthrough video on the infotainment system together, but you'll find a full walkthrough down there. But there is so much to this screen. You've got basic settings that are available here. I mentioned the ambient light with all the different colors that you can change out as well. So if you wanted something a little bit more unique, you could. Digital scents available. So you've got 3 different scents that are available, and you could adjust the scent right through the middle there. So 3 that come with it as a default, and so many other things. But there are a few really cool features, like you've got Google Maps built in. If you were hooked up through Android Auto Apple CarPlay with a map running, it would take over the map in the middle there instead. So rather than it being Google Maps that are run through the screen, it would be through your phone. But having said that, a lot of these services, this all requires an active data connection through your vehicle. And the active data connection is essentially going to be 1 year of included service for free when you purchase your new Nautilus. Lincoln still isn't sure if they're going to do it a monthly or as a yearly service after that. So I haven't got an update for that as of yet. It'll probably be a couple months before they decide. but you could still tether your phone if you wanted to your vehicle. Or I guess you should say you could tether your vehicle to your phone if you wanted to run data that way instead and use all of the same features, which is neat. But at that point, it would probably just make sense to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay instead. But you've got a ton of different options that are available here. It's amazing. Play Store, so you can download different games that are available here. You can tether like an actual video game controller to this thing too to use it. You've got AM, FM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth, audio sources. Like there are so many things. You can use Alexa in this side of this thing. It's got voice command. Hey, Google. So it is essentially like an Android device right in the vehicle. Like I mentioned, Apple CarPlay support, it runs buttery smooth. It is incredible. And my favorite. Oh, look at this. YouTube built right into the screen with full video playback.
That's where you're going first to make it happen. Some versions of the Explorer are going to have.
Like that is really, really cool. You can watch videos right through, but there's one thing about video playback is that it only works when you're in park, which is the way that it should be. So the second you go to drive or you're outside of park, you won't be able to use it. So you have to stop in order to be able to use it there. But like there are so many things. I want to do an audio test right through this now. So hold on, I think it's FFEX. Oh, there we go. Takes a second. Okay, here we go. And let's just randomly choose a song here. There we go. Royalty-free music. All right, now, I did mention, so while this thing is kind of loading up, there are 3 different speaker choices that are available inside of the Nautilus. So you either got a 10 speaker in the Premier, a 14 speaker in the Reserve, and then a 28 speaker optional in the Reserve, and then in the Black Label. This is the 28 speaker. In this audio test, it's coming right out of the microphone, so there's no post-processing done whatsoever. This is ridiculous.
Moving that body, she dancing and shaking, it's making them crazy. She know how to move. She said she's ready to party. Let's get it started. Tequila straight out the bottle. She looks so good when she's sipping.
The audio inside of this thing is outrageous. Like I said, this is the upgraded 28 speaker, which is why it sounds so damn good. The 14 speaker still sounds good, but the 28 speaker is just a step above. So you've really got to figure out if the finer luxuries like that better audio system or the massage chair seats are going to be worth it, because that 203A package is like $10,000+ to get it. So that one's going to be a matter of preference. But I mean, the audio quality, if you're an audiophile and if you go on longer trips or if you're stuck in traffic, having the massage seats is beautiful. But I love that we've now got video playback available inside of this screen. It is so, so cool. And then all of your climate settings are baked right into the screen as well. But you can control all of the climate using the voice command prompt. So you hit the voice command prompt button and you could adjust your volume. You could turn on your heated ventilated seats for the driver passenger side. It is amazing. And then from there, like you've got the 48-inch screen that wraps around. So you've essentially got like a traditional cluster from here to there. So kind of like at the halfway point. So it's like a 24-inch traditional cluster. So no need for a head-up display. And then along the outside there, so these 3 panels are all customizable. So you can customize it through the screen here. So if you wanted to have your fuel economy show up instead of your clock, you could do it. You want your tire pressure instead, or let's say if you wanted a trip counter, you could do that as well. So you can kind of do a drag around in order to kind of customize this and make it your own. Once you're satisfied with your setup, you just click out of the screen in order to lock it in place. But I mean, even just looking, it just fades in so nicely there. It's honestly, like, it is beautiful. Down the center stack, you've got the park reverse neutral drive and then dedicated low mode. Auto start stop, so the one that's potentially going to kill power to the engine if you're stopped for an extended period of time. 4-way blinkers, and then this thing has park assist. So the vehicle can help you out with parallel parking, parallel park out, all that fun stuff. Max defroster. There's also a 360 camera that shoots up along that top screen. And the 360 view, you've got that. Front view, front 180 view. And then when you're in reverse, it shifts out into a 360, 360 backup, or the 180 reverse camera there instead. Really damn nice. I love that. And then there's a series of selectable drive modes there as well. And then the drive modes, your normal, excite, so it's going to hold on to your RPMs a little bit longer. Conserve mode, slippery and deep snowy conditions. So they play with traction control, stability control, and things like that. I love it. Then you can move across to reset it to a default order. So, and that's actually one cool thing, is that a lot of these different things, you can do a drag and drop in order to customize it to make it a little bit more unique for you. And that even works the same with this app tray. Like this is an Android device. So you could just drag and drop and customize this to make it your own. It's amazing. From there, you've also got a very large slidable tray there. Wireless charge pads there. Oh, actually, I guess I didn't even show you this. So you've got your media. So you can turn your audio on or off, and then you can adjust your volume this way as well. But the wireless charge pads there. A few USB power points, so USB-C, USB Type-A, with some cup holders. The armrest is non-lockable, but you've got a good amount of storage space, and mind this, but you've got a few more power points there, and then a 12-volt power point down there as well. Then I did mention, so you've got digital sense, so if you wanted to, you could install unique sense there as well, just to make it smell a little bit nice. We've got this nice highlight that follows all the way through the dash. The glove box in this thing is non-lockable. Up overhead, auto-dimming rearview mirrors there. Hello. You've also got interior light controls, and then you've also got your sunshade controls. So one button press opens it up halfway. Secondary button press opens it up the rest of the way. I mean, just look at that. That just opens it up beautifully. And then from there, you can either vent away if you want to. So push away to create a little vent. And then single button press opens this thing up pretty much the full way. Secondary button press is that last little bit. But I mean that. You got your little bug shield. That's beautiful. And then there's button press in order to close. There's a sunglasses holder there. From there, you've also got your home link system. So if you've got a garage door opener at home, you can program it in. You've got a little receipt ticket holder on the outside and on the inside. And then the vanity mirror has lights built in with this thing stretching out to block all of the sun that might be hitting your face. But I mean, like I said, that is incredible. I think Lincoln did an incredible job on the new Nautilus. I really, really like this, but well, let's get the, yeah, there we go. So driver's seat set up the way that I would traditionally drive. And with it set up this way, with me being 6 feet tall, inside of the second row, I've got a great amount of foot space, great amount of knee space, and up overhead, with me sitting fully upright, an 1.5-inch-ish, maybe 2 inches of head space. But one nice thing about the Nautilus is that it does also feature the option of reclining the seats. A little bit. Not a big recline, but like just a little bit. But I mean, that opens it up. So if you're probably 6'4", maybe 6'5", you'll be able to sit inside of this seat no problem. It's actually really nice. And like the outboard seat this year, that is really damn nice. Ooh, it hugs the body really nicely. I like that. And then fitting 3 full-size versions of me in the vehicle. So foot-wise, there's more than enough space. It might be a little bit tight, but I mean, everybody, if you gotta get 3 adults, just squeeze a little bit in order to fit people in the back here. In the middle seat, inside of this thing, actually, it's not as comfortable as the outboard, but it's way more comfortable from what I remember from the 2023 model. It's kind of nice. Now, not much more headspace in the middle seat here though. Like I'm probably maxing out. I'm sitting, yeah, if I'm like sitting up a little bit, like maybe an inch, half an inch to an inch of headspace. So there's not a lot of space going on up overhead there, but still pretty nice. And then the seats can also be, that's new, slip forwards or backwards again. Oh, that's really nice. Full bench. That's really cool. So if you need to create a little bit more space for the cargo area, you've got the flexibility to be able to do it. Now, one really neat thing is that just along the back here, you might just be able to make it out, but you've got some USB power points. This is the first time Lincoln's done this. So 2 USB Type-C along both the driver and the passenger seat. It's like they've kind of taken a page out of Kia's book where that would normally be along the side, but right into the seat. Lincoln, great job. There are some pockets behind both the driver and passenger side there as well. And then down below, you've also got heated second row seats. So these aren't toggle switches up or down. They'd be button pushes in order to toggle it on or off. And then the only thing to point out would be some cup holders there. Ooh, fancy. That's really neat. Little storage area there. That feels super premium. That's a fairly heavy feel there. But I mean, the tiniest amount of space inside of this, I don't even know what you're going to store inside of that. No, still pretty neat though. And then, oh, that is All right, so there's one where you can lift up. There's a second where you can slide it out there instead. That is really neat. Huh. Really neat. And oh, soft finish there. And then you've got all the anchor points, the top tether points are there as well. But I do think that Lincoln has done a phenomenal job on the 2024 model of this thing. Oh, this is really nice. Now this is just the regular 2-liter turbocharged engine. Let's take her for a spin and have a little bit of fun. The drive is great. The handling is amazing inside of this. And that's because it's paired with Lincoln's intelligent all-wheel drive system. So it's not going to be available front-wheel drive. It's strictly all-wheel. But the intelligent all-wheel essentially means that the vehicle figures out which wheel needs which amount of power, and it automatically shoots it out to whichever wheel is necessary. All right, how does this thing handle? Oh, how does this thing handle? Oh, I love it. That's pretty good. There we go. Adaptive cruise control is set.
In 600
BlueCruise is
use the
on.
right lane to take the Keel Street
All right,
exit.
so in theory, BlueCruise is completely hands-free. Oh, this is amazing. And it does it automatically. I'm going to take this thing for an extended drive on the 401. That is really damn cool. I'm completely hands-free right now. The car is doing everything for me. Acceleration, deceleration. I'm getting off at an exit right now.
Lane to take the Keel Street exit.
Am I gonna be prompted to go? Okay, I've got to keep my hands on the steering wheel now because I'm getting off the highway. That makes sense. Oh, that is really, really cool though. But if you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and until I see you next time, take care. So this is the all new. What are you doing, clown? It's not. What are you doing? On top of that, when you look at fuel economy, you're also losing. Your basic warranty is going to be a 4-year, 50,000 mile or 80,000 kilometers, with the powertrain getting moved up.